Hello and welcome. My name is Esther. I'm an artist, healer, intuitive. I do many things. So today I'm just about to head out for a hike actually, and right now where I'm located it's quite cool. It's in the fall. Naturally we're heading towards the end of October. So I just felt this pull to kind of see what collective messages need to come out from nature herself. Because as we are moving with these times, going into more of the winter months, nature is also telling us and teaching us the changing of times. Right now, all the leaves are changing color, and we're going into cooler months where I am. And it's really about that inward kind of energy, right? Where are you being called to go inward and be really honest with the self and really navigating through the changes that you're being called to create within yourself, because we are coming into a time where we need to learn to judge the self less so that we can judge others less, right? And really honoring the inner being so that we can honor all that around us. So Mother Nature is really teaching us more now than ever, especially in these cooler months, where those changes are coming, what's dying away so that it can birth anew into the spring, right? And what is going into more of that hermiting energy, what's going into, even the bears are going into hibernation. It's just all of those cycles. And that's this time of year in the area that I'm in. So first I wanted to pull from the Animal Spirit Oracle to get our foundation of today's reading. Oops, a few fell on the ground here. I'm just outside on the deck. So it's nice and peaceful out here. Let's just see what came. One moment. Okay. What was it? Yeah. Let me just see. Yeah. Okay. So, first and foremost, you got the Badger Spirit. The Badger Spirit says, be fearless and be bold. So where are you being called to really be fearless and be bold in your life? Beautiful first message for the foundation. You then got Koi Fish Spirit. There is always enough. Exactly. So if you've gone through a lot of changes this year, you may be feeling like a little bit worried in lack or fear of the unknown. And this is your reminder, do not fear. There's a lot of abundance pouring in. And you also got Swan Spirit. Time for a deep dive. Yeah. So where do you have to go into those inner workings of radical truth and honesty within yourself? What is it that you're still working through? What is it that the winter months want you to look at for that deeper introspection, that inner reflection of your soul, and where nature is really reminding you of the greatest teacher, right? Because everything happens in cycles. Everything in nature happens in its own divine timing. It follows a very rhythmic, harmonious, patient process. Nothing in nature is rushed. It's all just in its natural design, and it's never forced. It's just in a beautiful rhythmic flow. And so it's like being fearless and bold. There's always enough. And time for a deep dive. It's kind of like, where can you look and mirror that into your life? Where do you need to really stand up with more courage, be bold, to truly speak your truth, truly honor whom you are, show up in your authenticity, and what kind of inner shadows are rearing their heads, or where maybe you've had to remove the masks or anything that was not truly authentic or aligned with you, and where you can step into that courage of saying like, well, there's always enough. There's always abundance for everyone, including you. There's also this element of the fearlessness. So it's like confronting those inner fears, confronting those inner limitations, and really taking that deep dive within, that introspection to say, well, where have I actually limited myself, right? Because if we're feeling judged by others, you're actually judging yourself. And if you're needing all the external world to gift you validation or comfort, then you really need to look on where you're not validating the self or comforting the self or feeling solid, secure, and resilient on your own. So this is a very special reading here, collective, because this is what nature is really showing you. So we're also going to pull from the Earth Oracles and just see what comes through here before we start your read, and just kind of get an idea of what nature really wants to show you. What's your guides, your angels wanting to show you? Wow, quite a few came out, so 5 of them. Okay, so it says ready but waiting. Look at that dove there. So with ready but waiting, it's kind of like your soul is ready. You are gifted. You are ready to emerge into this new version, into what it is that you're wanting to achieve or strive for or obtain or manifest. But there's this waiting period. There's this either a little bit of resistance where you still need to do a bit more of the inner work so that you can align with the energy you're trying to bring in. But it's very angelic, right? This is very spiritual, kind of rebirthing. So what are you holding on to? What are you ready for? But you're kind of a little bit of resistance, a little bit of a waiting energy, a little bit of like, oh, I don't know, or, oh, you know, like it's still a little bit of the inward work that needs to be looked at, and that inner honesty. Rediscovery also came out for you. This is a beautiful card. This has come up before for you, collective. And this is really about the inner child, the true essence of self, right? So what is the true essence of you? And it's about rediscovering your authenticity, really, really being radically honest and truthful with whom you are and the natural nature of your being, right? Beautiful. You also got perspective. So this is very beautiful. This is kind of like her looking at the world, and it's this birthing energy and these wings. It's like, where are you wanting to fly free to? Where are you wanting to take off? And what is your perspective, and where is maybe your perspective needing to change into a higher view to really know that you're capable, you're ready there, you're ready, hold all the gifts and the capacities and the intellect, the heart, the knowledge, the wisdom to do what it is you're striving for. So really it's just a little bit more of inward transformations that maybe nature's trying to tell you, you know, to really honor that, but not to be afraid of just being you, because those who are meant for you will love you as you. They won't ask you to be any different. And majority of the time, people don't care. It's really you that cares the most. Revision. This one has come up a lot as well. Revision. So this is like the deep depths of the soul, especially with like the dragon spirit there, right? Dragons are very angelic as well. They come from the angelic realm, or so I've heard, within that vibrational energy, because they carry a deep wisdom, a deep magic, a deep protection. So it's like, where's that revision needing to birth anew, knowing that you are protected, you are completely safe, you are completely okay. You also got fortitude. Wow, this is beautiful. And very aligned with all the earth elements, all the earth spirits, and holding the heart there. So holding that fortitude and really not giving up of the true sight and the calm within the storm, right? The resilience within, and really coming back to understanding that we are one with nature. We are all of this earth. So come back into harmony of your own life cycles. Come back into harmony with your own rhythm throughout the day. Sleep cycles that need to be repatterned into harmony. Try to go to bed at the same time, get up at the same time, start your day in a way that's constructive, maybe a bit of meditation or yoga, and really shining that light into where different elements need to shift back into harmony for you. Honoring the self, right? So I'm just going to pull, before we do the tarot, I'm just going to pull a little bit from the Psychic Tarot Oracle and see what comes through for you, collective, in regards to the earth energies. Just one. Solar plexus chakra. Okay, that makes perfect sense, because we were just speaking about the inward processing. So The solar plexus is your will, ego, identity, right? It's who you really are. And so it's like, how are you showing up and why? But how are you showing up to yourself most importantly? And where are you allowing yourself to be seen by you? To step into your truth, to take off the masks, right? Really honoring the integrity of whom you are, and harnessing your will to do and achieve for your highest good, but also being really radically honest and knowing that you're ready, courageous, you're ready, strong. You ready hold the capacities to overcome any obstacle or challenge in your life. But ultimately, the solar plexus is about removing the masks. It's about having the courage to liberate yourself and to stand in your power, to know your worth and your value, and also to be courageous enough to stand in your authority, in your authenticity, and your uniqueness. Because the world needs your uniqueness now more than ever. We need authenticity now more than ever, because we need those way showers that are willing to be integral, honest, transparent, and really hold their true north that is upright. Because this is about to know thyself and to be proud of the self, to honor your lineage, to honor whom you are in the world, and to come back to radical self-acceptance, to not try to fit in, but rather to fit you, right? This is knowing whom you are. This is really, really, really vital. And that's exactly what this energy is all about. And what Mother Nature is trying to teach you is like badger spirit, right? Be fearless and be bold means stepping into the solar plexus. That means like, I know who I am. I am fearless and I am bold. I'm going to move forward with integrity, with honor, with honesty, with uprightness to do my soul's work because I believe in the self. It's about your own inner belief, because no one is going to believe in you unless you believe in you. No one's going to trust you unless you trust in you. No one is going to honor and respect you unless you honor and respect you. It's very much an inward outward. And this is where we have to take accountability as humanity to know that what happens around you is also a reflection of you. And it's also because of your choices. So sometimes it's mirroring back to us through obstacles and challenges where we need to grow, or where we need to take accountability and really honor where we need to shift or adjust to really obtain the sovereignty of self once more, right? Because if we're acting in irrational or erratic behavioral ways, then you have something within you that is not balanced. It's not honored. Because someone who honors themselves, just like the great masters teach us, just like Mother Earth teaches us, they are peaceful. They are loving. There is no need to prove the self or to explain to anyone around you the why. It just is. It's a way of being. You're just being you. And so that's where this shifting is coming through, collective. And also with the koi fish, with there is always enough, it's like you are always enough. Solar plexus, the center sun. And look at all these beautiful sunlight streams flowing in. It's like there is more than enough to go around, and everyone's dreams are going to be different pertaining to them anyways. Every soul spirit is different because each of us carry a unique signature, a soul imprint that can never be taken from you. So there's no competition. There's no need to worry that just because you're interested in, let's say, you're dreaming big in more of a career element, let's say you're feeling there's competition. Well, no, there's not, because even if it's in the same wheelhouse, your uniqueness is what sets it apart. Just think of like even the simplest example, film industry. There's a million different authors. There's a million different writers. There's a million different scripts. There's a million different movies and TV shows, because that is the magic of it. Everyone brings something new because it's not for everyone, but there's always space for every genre, right? Otherwise, we would just have one movie for humanity, and how boring would that be? It'd be horrible. Imagine if there was just only gray and white TV still. We need color. That's the evolving of it. And that's where you're having the courage, the strength, and the resilience, knowing you're more than worthy, you're more than good enough to step into it. That's why you also got the other foundational of Swan Spirit, time for a deep dive. You really have to look to the inner being. Where are you limiting yourself? Because no one else is limiting you. It really is honestly just you. It's hard to hear maybe, but I'm speaking the truth. Your soul on some level knows that that's correct. Yes, okay. I could take a bit more accountability for this. I used to always say to clients as well, it's like, when there's obstacles and challenges in life, we literally only have two choices. One, you can allow that obstacle or challenge to weaken you into suffering, into the woe is me. Allow it to become your pain body or a subconscious belief that limits you in some form. Or you can learn and grow from it, knowing how it obtained a learning and a lesson for you to enhance and to elevate into more wisdom, into your strengthening, into your power, right? So you can either allow it to become that of your suffering or that of your rising and your wisdom, your growth and your learning. And that's ultimately actually quite a significant parallel to humanity this year, actually. So with this will, you've also got the ready but waiting that came through, right? Where is your soul ready? Because you can feel this pull and this calling to really step and take that chance on yourself, or take this leap, or open your heart again for a new relationship, or believe in yourself for a new career path, or believe in something of repair and harmony in the family or in a working environment, or hopes and wishes and dreams for a new home perhaps, or a new location or travels, whatever it is that you're focusing on. It's like this ready but waiting. So your soul is ready, you're ready. So where's the pause? And where do you need to look within in your own identity, in your own fears perhaps, or your own unwillingness to kind of be like, I actually am the driving force of my life, and to take back power of your life, to get back in the driver's seat of your life, to be that forward movement of all your successes, to be confident again, right? There's no need to wait. You don't need to stagnate anymore. So if you're feeling a little bit like indecisive or in a pause or stagnant, then this is your time now more than ever to take those small steps, the action pieces into shifting for the better, or at least the forward movement into those areas that you're ultimately wanting. Ready but waiting. You also got rediscovery. So it's a rediscovery of the true self, right? The inner child. The rediscovery of the I am, the authenticity. When we're children, we really know ourselves because we're still so new in the world. So we are very connected to the spiritual world, but we also are unencumbered by any conditionings or elements that kind of influence whom you are through life's journey, right? So your inner child, what did you love as a child? What did you dream big about? Who were you? What interests you? What lit you up? And are you coming home to maybe a little bit of remembrance of your authenticity through the child self, right? And through the sweetness of your innocence, your curiosity, your openness to learn, to grow, and to be curious. Because that will serve you well. That will serve you great. Perspective in regards to the will, right? Your ego, your identity. How do you perceive the self? Because if you're placing your view of self from the opinions or judgments of others, then there's an imbalance there. So with this perspective, it's like, where have you limited yourself? Maybe where has your perspective been like, maybe I'm not good enough, or I'm afraid to shine, or is there a lack mentality, or is there an inner vision of self mentality that needs to be healed, to really honor saying, no, I'm amazing as I am because I am who I am. I am willing to shine because I know who I am. So there's a perspective shift on not only your openness to dream big and to explore the world, to explore your magic, to aim higher and take those chances on the self, but there's also a perspective shift on your beliefs, your belief systems, your conditioning. What have you learned through the world so far, but also what is the world teaching you? What are you teaching you? How can you shift your perspective back into the grounding and also in the gratitude of each day, the presence of each day, being grateful to have your health, being grateful to be outside, being grateful to be safe, being grateful to have a beautiful family or loving friends or a great career or food on the table or a place to rest your head. It doesn't matter what you're grateful for, but being grateful in the moment now so that you can obtain more later, but also the perspective shift of how abundant you already are, how worthy you already are. So a deep, deep perspective shift of the self is necessary. Revision for the inner, deeper depths of the perspectives, right? Where are you revising plans? Revision within the self and the external world. What is authentic to you? What is genuinely aligned to you? And are you trying to fit in or are you trying to fit you? Right? Are you blaming outside experiences or situations for your lack or your suffering? Or are you taking accountability and being willing to change it? Right? The change point. If you don't like it, change it. And if you don't change it, don't complain about it. Fortitude. Stand tall, strong, resilient. Look at all these power animals. You are powerful. Know your worth. Stand strong in that. Because this is where your will, ego, identity is coming back online. You're regrounding. You're harmonizing back into the truth, just like nature shows us truth all the time. And just know that it's good if you're growing. It's good if you don't know everything. That means you're alive, right? The other thing I say all the time is that nature teaches us that if you're not growing, you're dying. So be thankful that you're growing. Be grateful that at least there's an awareness to where you want to shift or where you want to do better or where you want to elevate higher, where you want your health to be better, your mind to be better, your body, your soul, your spirit, your relationships, your working environments, your home, right? It's like, where can you come back into that harmony of self to really realign with what deserves your time, but what also you are honoring your inner deserving? Where are you placing your focus and why? And coming back to that willingness to do and achieve for your highest good. Place your focus in what actually serves you, what is actually aligned to you, what is actually authentic to you. And being proud of your uniqueness, because that is an immense gift. So we'll pull a little bit of tarot here for the final advice from Spirit. See if anything comes through here for you, collective. Because this is beautiful. This is like inner development, right? This is radical honesty of the development of whom you are and the truth of whom you are. Not easy, because it takes the willingness to really mirror back to the self, right? Honesty. It takes and vulnerability. Vulnerability. That's a good one. So where can you be more vulnerable with yourself, more honest and integral and responsible for the self? That's ultimately where you're going to see the greatest success bloom and transform, right? That's where you're going to see the most change. Oh, thank you, Spirit. A big chunk came out here. Wow. Okay, so collective, clearly, a lot that you've overcome this year. You got both the Four of Swords and Ten of Swords. So these are both, this is like grounding. So your foundation may have been quite uprooted this year. You could have felt different things that really shook up, well, probably your solar plexus, your identity, right? It shook up, well, who am I now? If certain things crumbled away, it's always going to be an ego death, and then there's a rediscovery of self, right? So this year really shook up your ego, your identity, what was. You could have left quite a significant relationship, perhaps a career, perhaps even a town or a place where you lived, and that will always shake up our identity. That will always bring us into more introspection of, well, who am I now? How am I rebuilding? Where do I go? How do I take care of myself, especially if you were in a partnership and now you're single, it's like, well, how do I honor myself? How do I carry myself? How do I take care of myself? Where am I now? Because you have to have this strength, this courage, and this resilience of whom you are, knowing you're more than capable. You're fine to stand on your own. But this is where you felt betrayed. This is like a lot of loss, hitting rock bottom and like painful endings, things like that, right? This is like uprooted from your foundation. This is like safety, security, and grounding being uprooted. So it makes a lot of sense that now you've got this deepening of the identity and whom you are. Because this past has shaped you into what you need to do, who you needed to grow. Because sometimes if we become too complacent or stagnant, or we know something's not working, we need to shift out of it. And so those changes will be made, right? You also got Four of Swords because this is about taking a break to breathe, right? This is like mental overload, monkey mind, getting lost in the mind, overthinking. So any shifts or changes that have happened, they probably brought you into a lot of fear or overthinking. Like, how do I get through this? Who am I? You know, how do I overcome these past conditionings that kept me small or limited? Especially if you're wanting to step into manifestation, then of course the shadow, the old self will try to kind of sneak in there and be like, oh, but can you? Oh, but this is brand new, you know, because change is scary even when it's for your highest good. So that's where you're really tested from the self ultimately. And that's why this is very much a you with you reading, very much a you with you identity. Because you have to now step into your truth. You're now getting away from the feeling of overwhelmed and fears, or at least those fears and this overwhelm has come up to the surface, probably even anxieties and different things like that. That's because it's trying to show you how to heal, how to redirect. Because without sight of where we're imbalanced, we can't change it, right? We don't know what we don't know. So this is where Spirit's calling. It's like, you're really stepping into your authenticity, and that's not easy, especially when we've been conditioned to be one way or operating in the world one way. And especially if there's certain people that know you one way, and then you're stepping into the true you, or at least the higher version of you, the mature you, the growing you, the growth of time, right? Doesn't mean it wasn't you before. It just means that you've grown beyond whom you were when you were conditioned to remain small or to stay quiet to appease others or try to fit in instead of fitting you. You know, we all go through that in life. We all just want to be a part of the tribe. We all want to just be seen and accepted and loved and heard. Like, that's normal. Everyone wears multiple masks at different points of their lives. We all play different roles. Sometimes in our jobs or our careers, we're very different than we are at home, and that's totally fine. It doesn't mean you're not you. It just means that you're now evolving and maturing beyond the way that you operated, the way that you maybe accepted certain things, but now your inner worth has risen, and now it's like, nope, I have stronger boundaries now, right? Like, it can be many different things, but it's all for the better. It's all for the higher. And that's where Spirit's saying this is where you've shifted, because you're learning. Where were you limited? Where were you limited in your mind, in your conditioning? What kind of fears and doubts and elements had to shift away because it was no longer serving your highest good? It was no longer, you were no longer growing. And now you're growing. We are in an evolving period, right? And you are evolving. So naturally, that means a lot of these elements of past will come up. A lot of these conditionings will be boiling up in the surface in the body through the emotions or through situations or circumstances or things that even you've caused that need to be rectified and healed and transformed and adjusted into correction for your highest good, because that's a part of the process. You got 3 amazing cards as your outcome. So first and foremost, you got the World. This is an amazing card. This means that development of the inner honesty, this time of introspection, this time of taking a deep dive, really knowing to be fearless and bold in whom you are, you've now got guaranteed success with the World. This means like this is recognition of your work, recognition of your hard work, recognition on all you've overcome. Because this card's a lot about receiving rewards. It's about travel. It's about expansion. It's about setting your sights into bigger horizons, bigger goals, bigger achievements, bigger striving for the self, just having a higher standard for the self and knowing you're worthy of more, knowing you're worthy of greater. And that's what you're shifting into, because it's like change of resistance, no longer resisting the change, but rather to come back home to belief in the self and knowing that you're more than worthy, you're more than capable. There's always more than enough, just like the koi fish spirit told you. And it's like, yeah, like this is stability in a whole new way, because this is also root chakra. This is stable within the self. Knowing you're more than capable, knowing that the world is your oyster. You are stepping into new achievements. You're stepping into bigger elements of the self, right? Incredible. You also got the High Priestess, which is amazing. It's one of my favorite cards. And the High Priestess is also a major arcana, which is so wild that you got 2 major arcana. This is very like third eye intuitive led. So this is really trusting the self, knowing your worth, right? Because this is about trust in your intuition, trust in your mastery. This is like esoteric knowledge. This is like beyond the physical of knowing who you are. You're now understanding the deepening of whom you are, the soul spirit of whom you are, the balance of the middle path, like the honor of both your light and dark elements. This is like true divinity. True divinity is the acceptance of self in good and bad. It's the balance. It's like the middle path, like Buddha says. And it's the balance. It's the balance of understanding the value of the harder things we go through as our growth and our wisdom, and also the value of all the lighter things we go through as the blessings, the gratitude, the receiving, right? So this is really special, because this is where you're coming into this High Priestess. It's like the highest resonance of whom you are, because it's like, I have the knowledge, wisdom, and intelligence to achieve greatness. Of course you do. Only you are you. And what a beautiful, delightful element. And you also got the Queen of Pentacles. So major wealth. And this is because of your willingness to trust in whom you are, to really come back home to this inner work. And I think that's where like nature is trying to teach you. It's like, be who you are. Nothing in nature, like an apple tree in nature doesn't try to be a pear tree or a nut tree, right? It's just an apple tree. It doesn't have any competition. It just is. It just knows its natural way of being. And then its apples are that beautiful fruit for the nourishment of others. So it's like the fruit is not for the tree. It's like understanding who you are, honoring that, and then gifting that out for the benefit of your highest good and the highest good of all that around you, right? So with the Queen of Pentacles, this is like a capable woman. Like this is, of course, like just energy. And regardless of gender, we all carry masculine, feminine energy, as we know. So this is like being that caring mother, but it's about self-nurture, nurturing the self, honoring whom you are, and really being kind to the self, really honoring your worth and your value, and setting those boundaries, being courageous, stepping forth into the life that you know you deserve, and honoring your respect, and where others can respect you too, right? Like respecting yourself, honoring yourself, believing in yourself, right? Don't try to be anyone but you, because the greatest gift is you being you, right? It's your life. You're the driver of it. It's for you to live. It's not for anyone else to decide how you should live it. It's for you. Because this is about security and protection. So you're truly protected in this path and in this emerging. Like there's nothing to fear of emerging into the true you, because those who are for you will appreciate you, and you'll have way more authentic relationships anyways. Because if you're not authentic, you're just going to attract more inauthentic people. And then there's like really fake kind of relationships. Whereas like if you just show up truly and genuinely as you are, those who genuinely are meant for you will connect with you, and it will be a pure and honest and integral relationship. It'll be honored and respected. Unconditional love as well as pure love, right? And also the Queen of Pentacles is like, this is like you're coming into wealth where you're going to have more than enough to share around you and to give back into places or people or environments that you believe in or you feel are worthy or deserving or aligned. And that's a gift, right? So this is being really, really independent and prosperous alone. So you're finding your own independence, and that really has a lot to do with the solar plexus chakra. It's like, how are you depending on yourself, right? No longer depending on everyone else around you. And that could have been a part of the shifting of this year as well. It's like you had to learn this independence of self to know how to take care of yourself. Because when you're whole in yourself, then you can have whole and sustainable relationships and career and work, and you become dependable. If you can't even trust or depend on yourself, how are you going to be dependable for others, right? So amazing reading, collective. I'm really, really honored to have done this reading. And I just want you to know that you're so worthy, you're so valuable. And please spend as much time as you can outside if you have that capacity. And if not, if you have fur babies or animals around you, please connect with them. Just try to connect with the natural world. Go for a walk. Just anything that can kind of bring you back into the natural world, because that will greatly help you with this inner working this year. Because Spirit is saying this is very much in your favor, clearly. And you have nothing to fear. My gosh, please be you, because the world needs that. We need people to show up as they are. Please be you. You being you is the most special and needed thing. So thank you. Thank you for watching. And if you found this and it resonated, then it's even more of a confirmation that you are free to be you, because that is the best thing you could possibly do. Not only for yourself, but for all that around you. And you'll become that inspiration, but you'll also be free. Because when you allow yourself to just be you, you also understand freedom, peace, harmony, love, joy, gratitude, abundance, manifestation. So all of it inner pours in. So yeah, really, really lovely. So much love and light. And yeah, please share if this resonated, because just the chances of you finding this are rare in themselves. So I would love to hear from you, because ultimately we're here for each other. And although I primarily work with people in person or in groups, like one-on-one or in groups in person, I will be offering more online. So if you need a soul coach to kind of guide you, I'd be honored to work with you. So that will come soon, and it'll be in the description. Of how to connect with me or how to book in one-on-one sessions or take some of my courses, or even connect into some of my retreats, because I'll be offering that as well. So retreats are limited spaces as well. So you want to jump on that if you're interested in working with me over like a period of time to truly condense. But if you need help and you just want to align with like your specific story, and you need help for guidance on how to transform for your specific situation and how to come back into thriving, then I would be honored to meet you. I'd be honored to work with you. So yeah. All right. Much love. Cheers.